you know, we have to start the third topic. The screen is visible to you. You can see from here the company's constitutional document. And see, this topic is also very, very conceptual and very important, both from the understanding of the company law and from the examination point of view. This whole chapter, this whole topic has been divided into three parts, तीन हिस्सों में, and that is visible here. The clause, the A, you can see here, that is about the memorandum of association and articles of the association. Okay, the memorandum of association and articles of the association. And in this first part, we will discuss section 4, 5, then some other section 10, 16, some other sections also, but main are the section 4, that is about memorandum, section 5 about the articles. Okay, and this is the subtopic where we will discuss various provisions, and from there, we will find out the correlation. Okay, then the second subtopic under this topic is, under this chapter, is doctrine of ultravirus, and that is visible here in the B, doctrine of ultravirus. This particular subtopic is very, very conceptual. Whatever we have already discussed under that subtopic 1 about that memorandum, that object, importance of the memorandum, of importance of the object clause, only that we will discuss. Through the cases, we will discuss how the law has been developed on this particular subject. Okay, what would be the consequence if the company is doing a business beyond the object clause? In the object clause, if it is written that the company will do business in the electronics item, and the company started business of selling flats, क्या होगा? Whether it would be valid or not? If not valid, then how much company will be responsible, how will member will be responsible, etc. So there are 4-5 cases we will discuss. Okay, and the third subtopic here is doctrine of indoor management. The doctrine of indoor management is the exception of the constructive notice, and doctrine of indoor management also have some exceptions. Okay, and here also 3 cases we will discuss. The first is very classical case, Royal British Bank versus Torquent, and the doctrine of indoor management, many times known as the Torquent rule. Okay, so this is about the outline of this particular chapter we have to discuss. First, I'm taking the first subtopic, that is the company's constitutional document, memorandum of association and articles of the association. Here we have to discuss 5 things. Okay, first is that what is the format or the matters that has to be included into the memorandum of association and articles of the association. Second is what is the importance, क्या importance है इसकी. The third one is that when these memorandum and articles of association will be registered, because section 7 clause 2 talk about that the registrar of the company will register the memorandum and articles, all that document, and then issue the certificate of incorporation. So what is the registration and its effect? The fourth one is the binding nature, that the memorandum and article of association have the binding nature. Then question comes that what if the company want to change its name, because that is the clause, the first clause in the memorandum. Any changes company want to make, the registered office they want to change, the object clause they want to change, the liability of the members they want to change. So any changes the company want to make in either memorandum or the articles, so that is the alteration. So these 5 things we will discuss with respect to the memorandum and the articles. I again telling you, you can write. First is that what are the matters and what is the format of the memorandum and articles दोनों के लिए. Second is that what is the importance of memorandum of association and articles of association. Third is that about their registration and their effect. That is you read under section 10. Okay. Then binding nature of these documents, fourth one. And the fifth one is the alteration of the memorandum and articles. Okay. So these five things we will discuss. Now, see, many time I say that memorandum of association, articles of association, but when you see section 4, it talk about only memorandum and the article. And many times student ask me, not in this class but earlier also, because student are very curious about each and every word the teacher is using. So sir, why this memorandum of association, the word used here is only memorandum? And then I said that okay, uh, it's not like I'm using the company law say about it. And then I uh, show them the particular provision where this has been defined. So it's in the Companies Act. I'm sharing screen is visible to know. See section 2 clause 56. Can any of you read section 2 clause 56? I just shared the screen.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Memorandum mean the memorandum of association of a company as originally framed or as altered from time to time in pursuance of any previous company law of this act.
Yes. So, this particular definition have two purpose. I think you have got it. The one is about that covering that memorandum, because I say that memorandum may be altered and there is the process of alteration. Section 13 आप लोगों से छुपा थोड़ी है. Section 12 and 13 both are talking about, one is talking about alteration of the memorandum, another is talking about the alteration of the articles. So 13 and 14, sorry 12 तो नहीं बोल दिया, 13 and 14. So 13 is about alteration of memorandum, and maybe the originally memorandum was different than the altered one is the different one. So here memorandum means that memorandum that is registered with the registrar of the company. पुराना हो गया उससे हमें कोई मतलब नहीं, पुराने वाला गया. And so memorandum means memorandum of association. Many time I use memorandum of association of the company, whether it is originally formed or altered. If not altered, then originally, from time to time in pursuance of previous act. That means the earlier legislation that were applicable, like the Companies Act 1956, 1878, etc., or under this law, Companies Act 2013. Okay, in pursuance of the company law means that in pursuance means that is prepared as per the direction and that is registered. Okay, so that would be as the memorandum of the association. Okay, now you can also use memorandum or memorandum of association because it has the same meaning. The second is article or articles of association, because I use articles of association, AOA, many times I use. And so articles of association also has been defined under section 2 clause, I think 5 hai. Yes, 2 clause 5. Yes, please read section 2 5.
Article mean the article of association of a company as originally framed or as altered from time to time or applied in pursuance of any previous company law or of this act.
Yes. So see here also same thing, either it is actually formed or originally formed the Companies Act, it has not been altered and it was in pursuance of the Company Act under this or maybe under previous any previous legislation. Okay, and the previous law, if you remember section 267, I think previous law does not means previous with respect to this particular law. Previous law also include that law that was applicable in the Sikkim, but at that time Sikkim was not the part of India. The law that was applicable in the French territory. Okay, so that you can correlate with it. And here from these two definition 256 and 25, one thing again cleared, that memorandum unaltered can be changed, because it's saying that whether it is originally formed or the altered. So यहाँ अल्ट्रेशन का भी एक आइडिया हमें लग जाता है. Now come to the first thing we will discuss, that what are the matters that has to be written in the memorandum and what is the format of the memorandum. And for that we have to come to the section 4 of the Companies Act, that talking about memorandum, this one. As earlier also I have explained that in the memorandum there would be 5 important things. The 5 important things, first one is the name of the company, the second one is the state in which the registered office will be situated of your proposed company, the third one is the object for which you want to form the company. It's very important, because in the eyes of law company is a separate personality, and who cheats more, who are very close to the company, the directors. And so whether the acts of the director will be attributed to the company or not will be seen in light of the object clause, because company will be liable only for the act for which it is formed. If the action of the company, this company does not do anything, like in law of tort we read, king can do no wrong, the king is not doing anything. So similarly, and so any activity that director approved but that is beyond the company cannot liable, because it has very much importance also. In further classes we will explain it, that this type of the object or this type of the binding nature or effect or its importance is that it saves company from the unauthorized act, and also the shareholder, because shareholder have very less say, only they can say in the annual general meeting AGM, and so director do the act. So it is the factoring restricting the director also, that they have to invest, they have to uh, do the or use the company name and company money only for those purposes for that the company is formed, and on that expectation the shareholder has contributed the money. Okay, so suppose you are thinking that अभी तो भाई साहब ये बिजनेस चल रहा है मास्क का, and there is a company formed for mask manufacturing and sanitizer, etc. And suddenly the director of that company thought कि नहीं नहीं सैलरी आ गई, अब मास्क नहीं, we will sell other food item like momos and गुड़ वगैरह बेचेंगे. And then you feel cheated, because you invested your money, you purchased the shares, you invested your money with the expectation that this company will do this activity and will earn the profit, but the company is doing something else. Okay, and so this object clause or predetermining the activity of the company have several important things. It saves the company also, it saves the shareholder also, interest of the shareholder also. Okay, so that is the third thing, the object clause. The fourth one is the liability, whether the company will be the limited company or unlimited company. Okay, and that has to be has to be written. Otherwise when there would be issue, there would be always the case that how much the members will be responsible. Okay, and the fifth one is about about the share capital. If there is a share capital, so what is the share capital, in how much shares it has been divided. So these important 5 things it has, I have just told you. Yes, any of you please read the memorandum. See, uh, we have to read with respect to the matters included in the memorandum and the format. Section 4, along with the tables A, B, C, D, E. Tables. There are 5 tables of the schedule first. Because normally we ask, किसी से पूछो, if you go to your like the LC1 office, सर मुझे सेक्शन चेंज करवाना है, वो कहेंगे कि यू हैव टू राइट एन एप्लीकेशन. फिर आप पूछोगे एप्लीकेशन में क्या क्या मैटर लिखना होता है, वो ऑफिस वाले बताएंगे कि उसमें लिख दो कि मैं इस ये रोल नंबर है, इस सेक्शन में मेरा अलॉट हुआ है एंड आई वांट टू चेंज फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन टू जिस सेक्शन में आपको जाना है, ये डिटेल. उसके बाद में भी आप लोग पूछते हैं ना कि सर कोई पहले की एप्लीकेशन लिखी हो, कोई फॉर्मेट है, वो भी दिखा दो ना ताकि हम लिख लें. So similarly here also the format also has been provided. तो फॉर्मेट आपको कहाँ मिलेंगे? शेड्यूल 1 में. शेड्यूल 1 अटैच है कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 में, इस बेयर एक्ट में मिल जाएगी आपको, वहां पे आपको फॉर्मेट भी मिलेंगे. ठीक है. अर्लियर यू नो in earlier class I when we were discussing section 7, I told you that many times this word prescribed has been used. And so what is the meaning of word prescribed? Means as the government has framed the rules with respect to that. And so the government has framed 2014 rules, and those rule I have downloaded, I will upload you know on your class also. But there in the you know like in the CRPC you will find the warrant वगैरह के फॉर्म भी होते हैं कि अरेस्ट का वारंट क्या होगा, डेथ का वारंट क्या होगा. Similarly, see, here is form number 11, the certificate of incorporation. कि किस तरह की certificate of incorporation issue होगी, ये होती है. देखो आप ध्यान से इसमें फॉर्म नंबर 11 दिख रही है आप लोगों को? इज इट विजिबल?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Certificate of incorporation pursuant to section 2 subsection 7 and rule 8 of the company's incorporation rule, I hereby certify, I is for registrar, that name of this company is incorporated then the date of 2000 under Companies Act, and the company is limited by share. यहाँ टिक करना पड़ेगा, limited by share है या limited by guarantee है या limited unlimited है. And this CIN is the corporate आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर. ये कॉर्पोरेट आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर, यूनिक नंबर लिखना पड़ेगा, एंड देन यहाँ पे सील एटसेट्रा. So this thing I have just downloaded. You can also download. You can go to the in this particular website, India Code Digital Repository of all Central and State Act, and then going to that particular website you will find, you just type the name of the particular statute. There you will find the rules, regulation, etc. Clicking on those also you can get the rules, etc. Because when we combine all the rules and orders issued or framed under the Companies Act, this would be this much bulky. Okay, and that's why these Universal Bear Act or other Bear Act, they just keep the Bear Act only. And this rule making, through the rule making you completely know. So whenever or maybe in future you want to do the practice in the corporate sector or want to do a job in the company offices, etc. So it's clear when you know the law, there are the rules, accordingly you can form all these things. कैसे होता है. Okay. Now come to the memorandum that we were discussing. To that memorandum also I said that yeah, please read section 4.
Memorandum. The memorandum of company shall state A. The name of the company with the last word limited in the case of a public limited company, or the last word private limited in the case of private limited company.
Yeah, stop. So today we will discuss only with the name clause. What section 4 says that the memorandum of company shall. The first thing is the memorandum in itself is an essential document, because without memorandum you cannot incorporate the company. Section 7 subsection 1 clause A. क्लोज ए में मेमोरेंडम ही तो होता है, मेमोरेंडम एंड आर्टिकल्स. क्लोज बी में फिर डेक्लरेशन, क्लोज सी में फिर डेक्लरेशन, फिर अदर डिटेल. So without memorandum, a company cannot be registered. And memorandum of company shall, here also the word used is shall. That means these conditions are very very essential. You cannot escape from them. You have to disclose these things. Okay, so that is the importance of this word shall. Okay, it's not the enabling provision, like it start under the section 3 of the Companies Act. The memorandum of company shall, and the shall have its importance that these are mandatory. Okay, first clause as see read, the name of company, name of the company. And Shakespeare said, what is in the name? And whole law of trademark is on the name. सारी लड़ाई नाम की. Am I right? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
name of the company. Now the question is that who has liberty to think about the name? कौन सोचे नाम? इसमें तो लिखिए नाम लिखना है, लेकिन क्या नाम होना चाहिए और कौन सोचेगा? Who will think about the name? The promoters, the person,
Promoter, sir.
yeah, who are talking. When a child is born, the parents, अब कई पेरेंट्स तो ऐसे ऐसे नाम रख देते हैं फैंसी, बाप रे बाप. In the Punjab, you will see there are so much name on the the police rank or the army rank. Jarnal Singh, Inspector Singh भी नाम देखा है. And because we don't have the law with respect to the name of the persons, like in many uh, European country, there are law of the name, that what they can put or what they cannot put. Such type of the things is not here. Okay, even sometime person have the name that you will see and find that that is not appropriate. In the rural folk, you won't believe that there is the name of Gobarmal, Gobar Singh. Can you believe it? Because we don't have. Sometimes our name are such that even not appropriate. Okay, so that type of the thing we have, and because we don't have that inappropriate. But yes, here you cannot put, here is some law. So the promoters, but what name? The first thing is that section 4 subsection 1a is talking about that aap naam kuch bhi rakho, it's your liberty. But if the company is limited, then whatever name you think, suppose आपने सोचा टोरम, और कोई भी आपने नाम सोचा like bright word. If it is limited, then you have to add limited also, bright word limited. If the company is private company and limited also, then you have to write PVT Ltd, private limited, because law is saying, section 4 is saying. So it would be bright word private limited. Now the question is, okay, this is the one requirement. So the first person, the promoters has to think, you have to think as a member, as a promoter. But this has to be complied with. If it is a private company, then private limited. If it is only limited, that means the public limited, then limited. If it is private limited, then private limited. Okay. If it is only private, not limited, then no need to write limited. Okay, so that thing. Now, someone say that you have not to sit here. huh? Generally, what we ask, बैठेंगे क्या कर लोगे? There must be some consequence in the law. There must be some consequence. Otherwise, कौन मानेगा उसे? कहते हैं कि नहीं कहते हैं? So, what would be the consequence if this word limited has not been put, or if the company is limited but the word limited has not been put, or the private limited has not been put? One thing that registrar wo dekh ke, first thing is registrar will call for rectifying. The second is consequence are under section 453 that talking about improper use of the words. And there also you will find that the consequence, I just going to section 453. Just give me 1 minute. Yes. The punishment for improper use of limited or the private limited. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please read it.
Punishment for improper use of limited or private limited. If any person or persons trade or carry on business under any name or title of which the word limited or the words private limited or any contraction or imitation therefore is or are the last word or words, that person or each of those persons shall, unless duly incorporated with limited liability or unless duly incorporated as a private company with limited liability, as the case may be, punishable with fine which shall not be less than 500 rupees but may exceed 2000 rupees for each day for which that name or title has been used.
So it's saying that if any person uses this type of the name limited or the private limited or any contraction mean like PVT, वो भी अगर लिखते हैं imitation करते हैं, so in this case there is liability if the company is duly incorporated only when you use this name, otherwise you cannot use this name. If the company is not incorporated with that type of the thing, then you cannot use this type of the word. So this is related with the clause A, that what if someone improperly use the this type of the private limited and the limited. Now see one thing else. Yes, Sonali.
सर अगर कोई कंपनी जो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है लेकिन वो अपने नाम के पीछे पीवीटी एलटीडी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड नहीं लिखवाती है तब भी फाइन?
See, in this particular section for 453, it's not saying that that agar if a company is private limited and then it is not using. It is saying that when the company is not duly incorporated with limiting liability or unless duly incorporated as the private company with liability, as the case may be, then there is the this type of the punishment. But when the company is private limited but it has not been used, in that case punishment would not be there. Punishment would be under other section you will find where about the false statement or the false information put there. There would be there because this the loophole, or you can say lap, happened with the legislature. They could put here. So when the company is actually private limited, as we were discussing, and it is not using, in that case the first thing is the registrar will have to look after it and have to rectify it. The second is that there is in this particular where we are discussing this section 453, in this chapter you will find about this type of the false statement, or there also you will get uh, you know the punishment. So that is the remedy in that case. Okay. Now, the this is the first thing with respect to the name. Now, what is the format or the matter that we were talking? And as I said, that all that would be in the schedule, first table A, B, C. See, this is the table A. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In the table A, the memorandum or of association of a company limited by share. So table A, B, C, D, E, F, these are the different format with respect to the company limited by share, company not limited by share, public company, private company, that type of the thing. And here you will see clearly, can see that in the first clause it is written that the name of the company, and then the column is left that you have to think. And then if it is limited company, then limited word has to be taken, strike out, or you can say that tick out. And if it is private limited, then the private limited. Can company has repeated word private and limited. Yes, Anuj, can you elaborate what repeated means?
सर प्राइवेट और लिमिटेड फिर से यूज होना उसी नाम में। प्राइवेट लिमिटेड तो रहेगा ही, और फिर से प्राइवेट और लिमिटेड यूज होना।
See, that we will discuss, uh, that whether that can be done or not. That is about what name one should. Now we are discussing only the second part. First, the name of the company, and then has to add private limited or the limited as the company, if it is private limited or company is limited in that case. Okay. Now this these tables you can watch, and in every table you will find that the first clause is about the name of the company. Okay. Now come to the section 4, to the section 4. Section 4a is just saying that the company has to, in the first clause of the memorandum, the name of the company with the last word limited, or in case of public limited, the last word is private limited, as the case may be of the limited company. Then there is the exception, and the exception in the proviso. The proviso say that nothing in this section shall apply to the company. The company that is formed for the philanthropic purpose, for increasing the science, literature, art, any company that is registered under the section 8. For that, this requirement would not be there. Okay, that they have to put in the name, they have to add limited or the private limited. Now the question is that what is the name? क्या name हो सकते हैं? Section 4a give the complete liberty to think, and we see, but there are some restrictions, and the restrictions are under the section 4 clause 2. Under the section 4 clause 2, these are the restriction that what name cannot be, okay, or what name shall not be. And for that, the section 4 is divided into two parts, part A and part B. Section 4 subsection 2A, section 4 subsection 2B. And these are with keeping in the mind of the the protection of the trademark. Section 4 to A, that shall not be identical or resemble to the existing company. Okay. Yes, please read section 4 to.
The name stated in the memorandum shall be A. Be identical with or resemble too nearly to the same of an existing company registered under this act or any previous company law, or B. Be such that it issued by the company one will constitute an offense under any law for the time being in force, or is undesirable in the option of the central government.
Yeah. Now from these two clauses we can hint out that what in the clause A, the law talking about identical means that identical with the prior company, but the prior company does not have the trademark in that. Okay. Only when the prior company have the trademark, then for that the offense will be created, that you are taking putting the same name. And so that we find under the section 42b. So section 42a is that a company name should not be identical. Identical means hubahu same, exactly same. And this is I think purpose, we all know that then it would be the confusion that there are two company having exactly same name, and maybe shareholder or as a third person getting confused. So though ऐसा नाम आपको नहीं रखना है, you cannot, because word is shall not, one shall not put the name of his proposed company that is already registered, okay. Or nearly resemble too nearly, like one put the name like Soma, and दूसरे ने Soma SOMA और फिर A और लगा दिया. So that is also pronounced like Soma. Here resemblance to the nearly same does not mean spelling में resemblance हो, it may be in the pronunciation में भी resembling हो, so वो भी चलेगा, okay. So that thing should not be there. And the purpose we know, the purpose वही है कि ताकि there would be no confusion. Now the question is that what if, yeah, Bisleri and Bisleri, very good, Abhishek. The question is, or maybe that what if a name has been put, and it like you put the name, that's our digital word, and you registered your company, you form 7 लोग आपके क्लास से कंपनी फॉर्म की, नाम रखा डिजिटल वर्ड लिमिटेड कंपनी, बिकॉज इट वाज लिमिटेड, बट एंड दिस कंपनी वाज रजिस्टर्ड, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन भी मिल गया, लेकिन बाद में पता चला कि एक डिजिटल वर्ड से तो दूसरी जगह पे भी एक कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड है. And this is the situation where inadvertently the first is that there is the requirement on you that you cannot put. The second is that the registrar has the duty to check it. A registrar has the duty to check it, that whether the compliance has been made or not, okay. The compliance has been made or not of this particular statute, so he will inquire. The third situation, that even आपसे भी चूक हो गई, रजिस्ट्रार साहब से भी चूक हो गई, and it was then realized that there are two names in that case. And for that there is the rectification. You are not changing, you are not altering. Alteration is different thing, rectification is different thing, okay. So for that the rectification will be done, and the rectification are the section 16. Under section 16 about the rectification, section 16 says that if inadvertently the company name on the first registration, yeah, maybe through the alteration you registered a new name, in that there is a resemblance or this type of the situation, then what would be the consequence? Yes, please read section 16.
Section 16, rectification of name of the company. 1. If through in inadvertence or otherwise a company on its first registration or in its registration by new name is registered by name which a in the opinion of central government is identical with or too nearly resemble the name by which a company in existence had been previously registered, whether under this act or any previous company law, it may direct the company to change its name, and the company shall change its name or new name as the case may be within a period of 3 months from the issue of such direction, after adopting an ordinary resolution for the purpose. B. On
So
an
this is the
application by a
stop. So this is the consequence if section 42A has not been complied inadvertently, okay. Because advertently, if you are doing that thing, then the registrar has to check it, but that also has not been properly checked, and it happened, then this is the consequence. Now the central government have to give the direction that you have to change this name, and within 3 months you have to change it, okay. What is the consequence if the company has not complied with this direction, as not changing its name within the 3 year? And for that, the consequence are under the section 16 clause subsection 2. There under the 16 subsection 2, there is, you know, uh, yeah, 3, not 2, sorry, 3. Section 16 subsection 3. If the company make default in complying with its direction, the company shall be punished with 1000 rupees for every day which the default continues, and every officer who is in default shall be punishable with fine and shall not be less than the 5000 rupees, but which may extend to 1 rupee. So the liability to the company as well as to the person who are personally liable. Here is also diluting the concept of the separate personality. They cannot say that company was doing, our act has to be attributed to the company, why we are individually responsible. Okay. Then the section 4.2b and section 4.2b, as we read, that shall constitute the offense or undesirable. Shall constitute the offense means that the already registered company has the trademark, and then you are putting, that means you are actually violating the trademark law. Okay, so that you cannot put. And if you have advertently put, then under section 16, as we just read, section 16 subsection 1 clause b, that on an application by the registered proprietor of the trademark, that name is identical or too resembled, then accordingly you have to find out. So you have to read it with yourself, and the same consequence is there. And then, section 16 subsection 2 also you have to read, that how you have to get the new registration of the name, etc. Now there is another thing, and that is in the section, this is about the undesirable. The undesirable means any name that is against the public policy. Like, some of you ask the question, like the private limited and then private limited, it may be undesirable. The name that, having, no, against the public policy means, it's not proper, like prostitution company limited, it's not proper. Or maybe like theft, or thieves private limited, it does not seem appropriate. And so this undesirable word gives the huge power, or it's really has to be judiciously very, we have to decide that what constitute the undesirable or what would not constitute the undesirable. In one word we cannot define all those, the undesirable word. That undesirable may be because they are, unparliamentary word, because they are giving the wrong impression, etc., etc. Now there is another question, and sometime, before we going to the further on, student ask, sir, can we put the name like, on the name of the state government or central government, etc.? Just keep calm. We will read all thing whatever possible on the name clause. This whole class is to the name clause. Then section 4, subsection 3, that talking about that some other restriction that has been put on the name. Okay, section 4, clause 3, please read section 4.3.
Without prejudice to the provision of subsection 2, a company shall not be registered with a name which contain any word or expression which is likely to give the impression that the company is in any way connected with or having the patronage of central government, any state government, or any local authority, corporation, or any body constituted by the central government or any state government under any law for the time being in force, or by such word or expression as may be prescribed, unless the previous approval of the central government has been obtained for the use of any such word or expression.
Yeah. So here, any word that shows that it is connected to the government, central government or to the state government, like you say, you put the name, You are from the Haryana and you like very much this Haryana name. हमारे उधर आप हरियाणा में जाओगे तो you will find many soaps name Haryana seeds, Haryana this. वो हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट की नहीं होती, लेकिन out of love people put this name. So suppose you are from Haryana, or suppose you are from Delhi and you look like Delhi Cookies Private Limited, or Delhi government water, what you say that क्या कहते हैं उनको, water, or maybe like Delhi government cement limited. So this type of the name that give the impressions to the outsider or the shareholder that this company will have some connection with the the government or some patronage, that name should not be there. But in our daily life we will find many names that such type of the where the name of the state or this type of the things has been used. And for that, the proviso, the unless part is rescue for that, that unless it has been approved by the government, that could be done. Yes, Sonali, any question, doubt you
सर
have?
अदर क्लास की लिंक आ गई है तो
Okay, just
सर
give
अदर
me.
क्लास की लिंक आ गई है.
Okay, I got. Just give me 4 minutes or 3 minutes. I will go. Okay. Then the second one is about the word or expression as may be prescribed, shall not may be, as may be prescribed. Here also, the power is given that if you read section 3, without prejudice to the subsection 2, the company shall not registered with a name as may be, with the expression as may be prescribed. So the power is given, and this power also very judiciously decided with some purpose, that why the central government has put this type of the policy for not putting the name. Like maybe they have put like the royal or emperor or some other policy they can frame, that type of the name you can put. So with respect to the company, we have the detailed law that what name you cannot put. Again, you are liberty what name you have, but these name you cannot put. So some law is there that what name or what name it would be there. Okay, one you can say and convert all these clauses into positive, that the name should not be identical, the name should not be such that is resembling with earlier company, the name should not be such that is inappropriate, the name should not be there such that having some showing some patronage, etc., etc. So these names should not be there, other name you can put. Rest we will discuss in our next class about the reservation of the name, etc. also. So this is whole class with respect to the name. And Shakespeare ne kaha ki what is in the name? There is so much in the name. The whole fight is about the name. Okay, guys. So we will meet tomorrow and we will discuss more about it. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
अगर